Welcome to the Wine Elder. Today we've got something a little bit different, a European wine from the south of France called Chateauneuf du Pape. It is a wine along the Southern Rhone region, just outside of Avignon. Chateauneuf du Pape literally translates as the Pope's New Castle. The history of this wine is intertwined with the schism in the Catholic Church in the early 1300s. There was a Pope from Bordeaux that refused to move to Rome, and he set up the papacy in the town of Avignon, and where it remained for about 3/4 of a century through, I believe, 7 different popes. They brought their love of wine from Bordeaux there to the Southern Rhone region. They were already planting wines there, but they certainly encouraged its growth. Toward the end of the 1300s, the new pope at the time moved back to Rome and the Vatican, and the bishops of Avignon insisted they were still the popes, and for a couple of them there was a schism there in the church, and those popes are referred to officially now as the anti-popes, which is probably a name that they should use for a supervillain in a superhero movie, in my opinion. At any rate, this wine is from the Clos du Caillou, vineyard called Safres. It's a 2014. The wines of Southern Rhone are all red blends, and a huge number of grapes go into it. In Chateauneuf du Pape, traditionally they use 13 different red grapes and a few white grapes. The primary grapes, however, are Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvèdre, which is where you hear GSM wines come from. This is where they originated, was in the south of the Rhone region. The Grenache grape provides a lot of fruitiness and brightness. Syrah provides some spiciness and a lot of weight and depth to it, and Mourvèdre gives it some finesse. So we'll go ahead and open this. These wines typically have a lot of layers because of all the different grapes that go into them. Even though they do have 13 grapes, they are still usually about 75% Grenache, give or take some. So they're mostly Grenache, and Syrah's the second most varietal in them, maybe 10-15%, and then the rest is kind of everything made up of it. I can tell right away, you get all those things that I just talked about. It's a bright, fruity wine, a lot like Pinot or Chianti, some of the lighter wines in France and Italy. But at the same time, it has that layer of spice and depth to it and richness that the Syrah provides. You can taste both of those things in it. I think all of the other grapes that are in here kind of all mature and blend in to make up everything else. I'm kind of getting those two main different contrasts that are, I won't say competing with each other, but they're in harmony together in this one. It definitely has a kick and some spice to it from that Syrah. The aromas, you get a lot of floral aromas. The Provence region is it's like a garden down there. A lot of herbs. You always hear about spice blend, herbs de Provence. those are a bunch of herbs and spices that they blend coming from that region. So that region is just rich with not only the viticulture, but also farming as well. And those flavors come out in everything they grow down there. I'm having a hard time, besides that spice and that kick. I don't want to say cherry or strawberry, but I do get kind of some seeded fruits like that. Not quite stone fruit, not quite strawberry or earth fruits. Maybe a little bit more berries. I almost want to say blueberries. I want to describe a lot of different berries, but I'm having a hard time picking out the one that is dominant. Like I said, it has a lot of layers of fruit to this and a lot of the spices with it. It's definitely one of the more unique and varied red blends there are. A lot of the red blends stick with a couple different things. This is a true blend in that it has such a harmony of so many different things. I have orchard in here. I have spice fruits or spices. I have fruits that are grown in the ground like strawberries. It's not even really kind of one category of plant. It's a whole variety of like the whole garden and orchard combined into one. So incidentally, I'm pairing this tonight with a lamb shank cassoulet. Cassoulet is a French peasant dish traditionally made with beans. You use great white northern beans or cannelli beans. And I've put lamb shank loins I've cut up and put in here with some andouille sausage. One of the reasons I picked this wine for, one of the classic wine pairings with lamb, is Syrah. And that's what made me think to go to this with the dish. But because of the red blend and all that nature, I wanted something that has more than just the lamb. It has all of the flavors of a bean stew in with that lamb. And that's why my philosophy going with this. Plus, this is kind of from the south of France. This is a southern French wine. So this one's very good, very well balanced, bursting with all kinds of flavors, like I said. If we're gonna score this one, let's start the balance. It's tough to balance this many wines, but this one I think they've done. I'm gonna give it a 5 because there's so many things going on and yet not one thing stands out. Like I said, I had a hard time picking out any particular fruit or flavor with it because there's so many things all balanced. So we'll give it a 5 for balance. The depth I'm gonna give a 4. It does have some depth to all of those different things, but they're still somewhat simplified that there isn't one deep thing that's pulling me out on it. It's a lot of flavors kind of up here. So we'll give it a 4 for the depth. The finish I'll give a 4. It's above average, but it isn't lingering a long time on my palate. It's lingering just above average. So we'll give a 4 to that. Representation, we'll give a 5. This is what I expect a massive red blend to taste like with all those different reds in there. And so the 5, 4, 4, 5 overall taste. Let me give it another try. I will go an 8 on it. I'm a little tempted to go a little higher, but I really enjoy it, but I don't drink these styles of wine that often. And the reason's because I do like them. I like them a lot, but there's other wines that I prefer. And so my overall taste, it's certainly a high quality wine. But for me, I would probably choose some other wines ahead of this one, simply my personal taste. I know a lot of people that love these, and this is their go-to wine, that would give it a 9 or a 10. But the overall taste score at the end is purely subjective, up to me, what I like. And so 8 is still a good score for it. So that gives us a total score. We said 5, 4, 4, 5. That adds up to 18. With an 8, it has a total score of a 93 for the Chateauneuf du Pape.